Public service message from the National Insurance Crime Bureau.
Milwaukee Black Talk lives here on 101.7 FM and 1510 AM, W269DL Milwaukee, and WGKB Waukesha.
What up, y'all? What up? What up? What up? What up? What up? Welcome, 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 welcome. It's me again. Your boy Ray Nitty holding it down on the Grapevine, man, on the award-winning 101.7 The Truth. Man, I got a story to tell y'all, man, these next 2 hours, man. I want to tell y'all about, something I've been extremely passionate about. You might have heard the story of CWC, the community within the corridor. You might have heard the story about the evacuation that happened. We had to evacuate over 50 families. You probably heard about the remediation and so forth, but I'm going to tell y'all a story. I want y'all to follow me today, right? I want y'all to follow me. I'm going to tell y'all a story, then I want to get into, after I tell you the story of a dream, right, that a few black men had in Milwaukee, then I want to tell you how this city turns dreams upside down into nightmares. We've allowed a toxic environment to grow right under our noses, right here in Milwaukee and Wisconsin. And how we handle it in Milwaukee is very different across the state. And this is important to me because, I see so much conversation about people caring about pollution and all of these other things. But we have real environmental injustice issues happening right here in Milwaukee. I've been loud about it. I've been not taken serious about it. I ran for office because they told me to shut up about it. So I'm like, all right, I'm going to run just to tell the story. Now I'm obligated to speak up on it. But I'm going to tell y'all a story. Tell y'all the story of CWC. Then I'm going to tell y'all about a toxic town, a toxic identity. Then I want to tell y'all about the impact that these toxins, these terrible landfills, these companies that have polluted our neighborhoods, made billions upon billions of dollars, just allowed to just leave. Leave these toxic landfills in our communities, poisoning our people. So we want to get to the behavioral impact that these things are happening, that these things are having on our community. That's what I want to talk about today. So I'm going to start with the story. About 10 years ago, 11 years ago, riding with my homie Michael Wesley. He just graduated the ACRE program. Looking for development sites in the inner city of Milwaukee to do something bigger than ourselves for our people. 833-212-1017, that's the number to dial. 833-212-1017, that's the number to dial. If you or your family member, anybody, grandparents, parents, great-grandparents, ever worked at Master Lock, Briggs and Stratton, Bostic, I want y'all to pay attention to this. All right? But I'm going to start with the story first because it all started with a dream. I know that ain't Bump. I know that ain't this bald head. I know it ain't. I know it. I got to treat him and beat him. I got to treat him and beat him. I got to. We just see. We got to treat him and beat him. We got to. He done threw it. I'm sweating because Bump done. I said don't come down here looking for me. He done popped up. I'm sweating in here, y'all. I summoned him earlier in the election. And when I summoned him, I know the other bald head dude fell out the race. So it had to work. We're going to get Bump on the show. But let me tell y'all about the story. About 10 years ago, riding with the homie Mike Kell, man, up and down Center Street, Fond du Lac Center. Y'all probably seen it numerous times. Abandoned building, sat vacant. Vacant in the community for over 35 years. Follow me. Nobody cared about it. People breaking into it, stealing out of it, copper, lead, all the things. Kids getting in trouble in it. A toxic landfill left unoccupied in our communities after Briggs and Stratton closed down. We drove past this building and said, you know what? We want to do something with it. We want to do something with it for our people. Later that day, Michael got a call from his Acre classmate, Q Elamine. He's like, man, bro, we should do this site. I've been reaching out to this realtor. Turns out it was the same site we was talking about. So we like, yeah, let's do it. It took a long time to get from dream to fruition. Throughout that, we had all types of different hiccups, all types of different people we spoke to. I personally knocked the neighborhood doors, walked that neighborhood. I personally talked to every house in that vicinity, sharing what's to come, asking what would they like to see. Because it had to be a representation of the community that it served. We met people like Miss Marjani, who does neighborhood gives back out of her house right on the corner of Locust. Give people furniture, give people food. Met people like Miss Farina Brooks and the Dream Team doing amazing things in that community. Met people like Metcalf Park doing amazing things in the community. So how do we build? How do we build on something? How do we bring community together? How do we reinvent our neighborhoods? How do we rebuild people and not just buildings? That was my goal. It wasn't about the buildings. It was about how do we redevelop families in the inner city of Milwaukee? The worst place, one of the worst places to raise black families. It's easy to redevelop a building. It wasn't easy to redevelop families, so we made partnerships. I talked to District 7. I talked to Office of Violence Prevention. We had a cohort of black therapists that was willing to, we was offering free. I offered free space on my side. So we could have these rapid response and wraparound services for families. Knocking on doors. People said they wanted to see a grocery store. People said they needed to see a laundromat. We had all these things. We had all these things lined up. But one thing I learned in this process is, as a creative, when you got ideas and vision, as a creative, you are looking at the biggest picture. And some people just looking at the biggest line item, unfortunately. So yeah, we had a struggle with the actual dream and delivering on everything we said this dream was supposed to be, because you had construction workers raising the price of items, overcharging, not building things the way it should be, white boxing spaces that were supposed to be designed a certain way. So I'm telling y'all about this story because I want y'all to know how we got to this point. $70 million. We invested in the 32nd and Center Street, the old Briggs and Stratton site. 197 residential units, indoor gym, basketball courts, playground, a whole campus, 3 city blocks. Essentially from 30th and Center to 33rd and Center, from Center Street to about Hadley. Don't go anywhere. When we come back, we'll continue this story on the award-winning 1017 The Truth.
Milwaukee Public School families, the first day of school is Tuesday, September 1st, and there's still time to enroll. MPS offers programs to fit every learner, including bilingual, Montessori, special education, and more. All MPS students receive free breakfast and lunch. Enroll today at milwaukeepublicsschools.org/enrollment or visit MPS Student Services at 5225 West Vliet Street, Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. Thank you for choosing MPS.
In the United States, a vehicle is stolen every 31 seconds, about as long as this message. Luckily, you can take a few easy steps to protect your car in the same amount of time. Remove your valuables. Roll up your windows. Don't leave your car running unattended. Lock your doors and take your keys or fob. If you have information about a crime, call the police. If you suspect insurance fraud, also call 800-TEL-NICB. A public service message from the National Insurance Crime Bureau.
I always had to be so good, no one could ignore me. Carve my path with data and drive. But some people only see who I am on paper. The paper ceiling. The limitations from degree screens to stereotypes that are holding back over 70 million stars. Workers skilled through alternative routes, rather than a bachelor's degree. It's time for skills to speak for themselves. Find resources for breaking through barriers at tearthepaperceiling.org. Brought to you by Opportunity at Work and the Ad Council.
I'm Chris Jackamick. I served in the United States Air Force and I deployed 3 times. So in 2017, I was serving as an Air Force First Sergeant. Our motto in that role is my job is people, everyone is my business. But unfortunately in that year, I would lose my own brother, Lance Corporal Adam Jackamick, to suicide. The majority of veteran suicides are from guns. I store my weapons securely, not only for myself, but for my family. Store all your guns securely. Help stop suicide. My service never stops.
Brought to you by End Family Fire and the Ad Council.
And here's Heather with the weather.
Well, it's beautiful out there, sunny and 75, almost a little chilly in the shade. Now, let's get a read on the inside of your car. It is hot. You've only been parked a short time and it's already 99 degrees in there. Let's not leave children in the back seat while running errands. It only takes a few minutes for their body temperatures to rise, and that could be fatal.
Cars get hot, fast, and can be deadly. Never leave a child in a car. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
What up, y'all? Welcome back to the award-winning 1017 The Truth. This is the Grapevine with your boy Ray Nitty holding it down, man. If you're just joining us, I'm talking about the story of CWC and how it came to be and now where we're at today, the toxic injustice, environmental injustice that's going on in the city of Milwaukee that I feel that is impacting our people on so many different levels that we're not even exploring. The behavioral issues, and not just young people, adults as well. So I'm going to keep going to this story, right? Telling y'all the story of how the CWC came into being. The largest affordable housing in Wisconsin state history that was privately owned just happened to be owned by some black brothers. Then we had a partner, Roars Development. But respectfully, majority of the work was, as far as putting the deal together, was done by us. And they came in with the finances, and very, very thankful for them having that finance book, because we would have been in a whole different situation when the evacuations and all of these things happened, because they footed that bill. And we're going to get into the evacuation as well that happened. But yeah, just giving y'all the story of the development. So it's supposed to be this transformative, catalytic development that was supposed to spur and spark all types of different developments in the area. A development said to have over $112 million economical impact on the neighborhood. $70 million in costs, which was supposed to be $60, but due to inflation and you know, the price of materials in the pandemic, because we started before the pandemic, as far as the process, it was a 10-year process. To now, you know, contractors raising the prices and change orders. And we were warned. Let's be honest here. Shouts out to, you know what, for the sake, I ain't going to say their name, but they know who they are. That gave us some game. 2 black men, an electrician, and somebody who ran the unions. Gave us some game like, hey, man, be careful with this company y'all thinking about going with. They have a history of, you know, cutting corners, raising prices. But anyway, we had a crazy ride in getting the development to where it is. Put together all these creatives. We had DJ Willie Shakes from Power Forward Media. We had art therapy. We had dance. We had DJ lessons, podcasts, recording studios, smaller offices for independent entrepreneurs and businesses. We had all of that lined up, ready to go. Then the evacuation happened. What actually happened? Let's talk about it. Community within the corridor, CWC East Block, opened in December 2022. $68 million affordable housing project built on part of the former Briggs & Stratton complex with sustainable public financing behind it. Substantial public financing behind it. March 25th, 2023, the Milwaukee Health Department ordered roughly 150 residents to evacuate after documentation submitted to the DNR that was submitted by developers. Did the testing and submitted by developers to the DNR show TCE at more than 190 times the acceptable groundwater vapor level in one part of the building with elevated level in several others. So, DNR itself said it did not know residents had already moved in. This is not true. It was a lie. Because somebody got fired behind it. Y'all met with developers. We had the conversation about it. Developers turned in the numbers. But anyway, DNR Remediation and Redevelopment Program Director Christine Seeger said the department only learned the building was occupied after reportedly requesting the information in the week leading up to the evacuation. Not true. DNR had previously warned the developer against allowing occupancy before a vapor mitigation system was fully commissioned. The warning was not followed, and residents moved in anyway. DNR suggested, this part is true, but they made a suggestion after they knew people was already in there. And the other thing that they didn't mention is there were units in the building that had zero traces. But they decided to make over 120 residents evacuate in the middle of a snowstorm at night on buses, city buses at that. I'm talking about a blizzard, not just a regular snowstorm. All right? Then they had a meeting. Had a meeting with so many people on the call. So I asked on the call, being that this is a vapor situation, do we need to let the outside community know about what has been going on? And not like we put the vapor there. Let's be clear. DNR has the ability to issue something called a known party, meaning when a company leaves a site or contaminates a site, they can issue a letter called a known party letter that holds that company or business responsible. You think they gave that to Briggs and Stratton? No. They made black developers, the people that was coming in to clean it up, the people that was reporting it, made us the known party. Then on top of that, evacuated us, went in Glendale. Let's go right down the street to Glendale, Bayshore Mall. Another development. Higher levels. No evacuation order. Developers only gave their residents fans and said, oh, this is a Canadian wildfire, so we're giving you this fan to blow the air. So they gave folks fans. They didn't have to move. We asked, hey, we have so many units on site that isn't contaminated. Made us move our families. Glendale, they got to stay right where they are. When asked, I was told, oh, it's a different municipality. So City of Glendale could do things how they want. City of Milwaukee could do things how they want. My issue with that is this was a state thing. So that's coming from the state. That should be across the board the same. But anyway, on the call, I asked them, should we let the folks know about what's going on and what has been going on? They said, so let me tell you what they said to us before I'll tell you what they said about that question. They're telling us how, vapors move. It could offshoot off of building materials. It could move through your pipes. It could move through the walls. It could move through your sewers and so forth. So I asked the question, well, okay, do we need to alert the outside community? They said, no. It doesn't move like that. So the vapor know to stay on our side of the street. But soon as you bring up a bigger picture that you should have been considering, it don't move like that. But it moves like that when it's impacting us and our families, but not when it's time to alert the whole community. Like, hey, Briggs and Stratton been here sitting for 30 plus years. Master Lock is right. I'm telling y'all, follow me now, because Master Lock was open while this was going on. I'm just the entertainer. I had to go do the research. A credible source pointed me in the right direction. God bless them. Said, look across the street at Master Lock. And lo and behold, I pulled up the DNR website. You could go on DNR website and see all the open contaminated sites in this city. Oh, and it's a lot of them. It's a lot of them. A lot of them stores that we go in and shop in right now. All right? It's a lot of them. So I go on the website. I see Master Lock had a historic spill. My God. 1984. I wasn't even born yet. I was still in the islands. Historic TCE spill. 1984. CWC in 2024, whatever year that was, we getting beat up in the media. They just showing up with cameras, showing up to people's office, trying to get questions answered and all of this. And the whole time attorneys is telling us, just be quiet. Don't poke the bear. Don't poke the bear. And me, the entertainer, I got to go do all this extra research now to see what we really dealing with. When we come back, I'm going to give y'all a little bit more of what we was dealing with this, y'all. Because what I found was just extremely mind-blowing. And the lies and the corruption that was told and that was going on in this city that our people pay the ultimate cost for. I couldn't believe. Don't go anywhere, y'all. This is a Grapevine with your boy Ray Nitty on the award-winning 1017 The Truth.
I'm Sherwin Hughes, and I know the power of Stars and Stripes Honor Flight firsthand. As someone who's been on an honor flight, I can tell you it's a day you'll never forget. Stars and Stripes Honor Flight gives our oldest veterans who served in any location in June of 1975 or earlier a free one-day trip to Washington, D.C. for veterans. Airfare, meals, a coach bus tour, and special flight apparel are all included. It's a day of honor, gratitude, and camaraderie. Veterans who served in the Vietnam or Korean War go to flySSHF.org and ask for an application.
Babes, what are you doing?
What? I'm just mowing the lawn.
No, it's blazing hot and dry out here. Don't you remember? Smokey Bear says.
Avoid using power equipment when it's windy or dry.
Where'd you learn this?
Oh, it's on
SmokeyBear.com with many other wildfire prevention tips.
Right. Thanks, honey bear.
'Cause remember, only you can prevent wildfires.
Brought to you by the USDA Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
When a warrior faces adversity, he fights through it. He finds a way. Freedom isn't free. Rolling strong. Belief. Believe you can, and you will.
Wheelchairs for Warriors provides mobility solutions to veterans and first responders injured in the line of duty. Join the mission and visit wheelchairsforwarriors.org.
Here's the deal. We gotta set ourselves up. See, retirement is the long game. We gotta make moves and make them early. Set up goals. Don't worry about a setback. Just save up and stack up to reach them. Let's put ourselves in the right position. Pre-game to greater things.
Start building your retirement plan at thisispretirement.org. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
For 75 years, the Muscular Dystrophy Association's voices have thundered through the halls of Congress.
For 75 years, we've willed the impossible into existence.
For 75 years, the MDA community has pushed the science,
shifted the narrative, and established the field of neuromuscular medicine.
And until that day when this is all a thing of the past,
you couldn't stop us if you tried.
Join us and celebrate 75 years of breakthroughs at MDA75.org.
What up, y'all? Welcome back to the Grapevine on your award-winning 1017 The Truth with your boy Ray Nitty. We're talking about what I found, y'all, when I went on DNR's website. And some of the things that I found. Some of the things I found, y'all, on DNR's website when it comes down to the toxic chemicals and footprints that these corporations have. Briggs & Stratton, Bostic, Masterlock. So yeah, 2008. Masterlock is supposed to be doing what was remediation. And after further digging, I found out Masterlock asked for permits saying, oh, we want to do some beautification to commemorate our 100th year anniversary. Let's put that into perspective. 100 years in the neighborhood. Think about that. This was 2008. They was commemorating 100 years. Saying that that's what they was doing. That's what they needed the permits for. Whole time they needed the permits to do remediation. So they lied about what they needed the permit for. What I also found is Masterlock, their water, their groundwater, runoff water, not only does it run off into our MMSD water system, our sewage system, it also dumps off into the Washington Park Quarry. This is on DNR's website. If we don't know what's at Washington Park Quarry, something over there called Urban Ecology Center. So I asked folks like, hey man, we need to test the waters. We need to test the neighbors across the street. We need to, do some extensive tests. So now everything is hitting the fan now. The articles is out. News reporters chasing us down. Gideon on our heels. We getting told to be quiet by attorneys. And what the rapper do? Y'all know I don't know how to just be quiet. I don't. So I start asking questions. Journal Sentinel beating us the hell up. I reach out like, to hell with this. Do you not see these fools across the street with historic spills? Then the article comes out, bringing a broader question into play now. Now all the articles stop. We don't get attacked no more. They talk about Masterlock once, then Masterlock shuts down. Masterlock randomly shuts down their operations. They closing it, citing, oh man, we financial issues. They're like, let's get out of here while these niggas getting blamed. That's what I felt. That's what it felt like to me. I had to talk to the union rep. They didn't even know about the TCE and stuff that they had spilled, and they didn't know. They didn't know. So yeah, the entertainer. I got to do all of this research, and upon this research, I'm trying to figure out, okay, who can I talk to? Because we getting treated now. We getting treated and beated right now. So I look on DNR website, looking at who all on all these committees, and who the hell do I see on DNR's advisory committee? Our damn lawyer. So the same person, I can't make this up. I can't make it up. The same person telling us to be quiet. Don't poke the bear. Just let this go past. Is advising the DNR on the advisory board. I'm not the sharpest pencil in the box, but that sounds like a conflict of interest to me. So that provoked me to run for office. I said, I can't be quiet about this. I got to use my platform, my voice to speak up. And as a partner of the development, we're being told to be quiet. Don't say nothing. But as a member of this community, I can't. Hell no. So I run for office, y'all, and start telling these stories. And then guess what? These politicians start showing exactly who they are. Bob Bauman, Joe Costa, Marina. I ran for 4th district because it was the most influential district in the city. And it would cause people to ask questions. Who does this Negro think he is? That he can run for the most prominent district in the city of Milwaukee. It wasn't about the win, it was about the message. And I saw how they organized to keep me quiet. They had special conferences to talk about the development. I remember this specifically. People were saying, hey, Nitty, you got to call all of the alders, man, and just ask them for support. I'm like, I don't want to call them. So I called them anyway. Some I left a message because some didn't answer. Some straight up said, hey, I'm supporting my colleague Bob. Marina. She said that. Which is why I won't vote for her in whatever it is she's running for in this upcoming election. Joe Costa either. How y'all spoke to me, how y'all treated me as somebody that was asking questions, terrible. Question y'all leadership. How y'all weaponized the political process against us, terrible leadership. They held hearings about the site, about the development, never invited developers, and putting on this show, Marina, where's developers? We'd love to hear from developers. Well, we'd have loved a damn invite when you got over 19 open TCE cases in your district. These are games that they was playing, sending threatening text messages to people that they were assuming supporting me. You're really on the wrong side of this one, and you're going to pay the price. This is what they saying to people. Our leaders, they want raises, they want other positions. Get out of here. For context, the DNR BRRTS database is a public searchable at apps.dnr.wi.gov/BOTW. It tracks every reported hazardous substance discharge in Wisconsin, open investigations, closed cleanups, and everything in between. You can put your own address in there and see what's around you. Focus specifically on TCE. I ain't even going to try to say the word, but trichloroethylene. That's just one of the toxic chemicals that we tracked. Milwaukee County alone had well over 832 sites that are current on former TCE cleanup locations. I'm going to tell y'all this too. Over 300 of them are residential properties, meaning that people are still living on or near documented contamination sites right now. Right now. 800 sites plus tied to just one chemical in one county. One chemical in one county. That's just one chemical. I'm just saying, y'all, when we gonna really get serious about environmental injustice in our neighborhoods? We act so upset about everything, but we don't be loud about the things that is impacting us right now. I wish, and maybe it's happening, call in and correct me if I'm wrong. But I don't see this type of environmental injustice support from the individuals that was loud at the Midtown data center. We got real life toxic situations right now that the community could use support and a voice for. Lena been arguing about lead till her face got blue, so much so they said, go and get another job, damn it. We tired of you. Go be a judge. Now she can't tell us nothing. Y'all see how that work? You give the loudest person that's screaming on your behalf, give them a job where they got to watch what they say now. I ain't no lawyer. I ain't no doctor. I ain't none of this. But I'm just saying what it looked like to me. Don't go anywhere, y'all. When we come back, we'll be getting deeper into the story. And we're going to talk about Master Lock and the abandoned sites nobody talking about. It's Ray Nitty on the Grapevine, 1017 The Truth, y'all.
Educators Credit Union is more than a place to manage your money. They're where your financial possibilities take shape. They're more than transactions. They're conversations about your financial goals. More than numbers, they're community advocates who support free, local events that are accessible to all. They foster community because we are stronger together. Educators Credit Union is people helping people. Become a member at ECU.com. Insured by NCUA. Membership eligibility required.
Every day, Veolia and MMSD work together to ensure that Milwaukee's water system exceeds the high standard it's held to, protecting Lake Michigan and its rivers that run through our neighborhoods. That's 220 local employees who care about their jobs, running a system that's earned national recognition for excellent performance. But they don't do it alone. They're supported by locally owned small businesses, women-owned businesses, and minority-owned businesses. For 18 years, making our waterways cleaner all the time. Veolia, Milwaukee values, committed to its future.
Talking about guns with others might not always feel comfortable, but it could save a life. Here's a way to start a conversation. Your family is going over to your neighbor's home for dinner for the first time. How would you ask if there are any unlocked guns in the home?
Hey, we're so excited for tonight. Before we come over, though, may I ask if there are any unlocked guns in your home?
Our guns are stored securely, locked in a safe that the kids can't access.
Awesome.
Learn how to have the conversation at agreetoagree.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
Wherever there's a need in our communities, there's a United Way. Improving lives so everyone can thrive. Where more people can gain access to healthcare and nutritious food for their tables. Where more community members can benefit from financial education and get connected to local resources for housing support. And where children are given more chances to reach their full potential. Community is where we find our strength and where we share our hope. United is the way. Visit unitedway.org.
Are people around me safe when I vape? Science does not support that belief. Exhaled vape emissions linger in the air, affecting indoor air quality and bystanders in the same space through secondhand exposure. Vaping emissions can also accumulate on clothes, hair, dust, and furniture, leading to exposure risks to bystanders of all ages. And vaping around a pregnant person can lead to serious health impacts on fetal and childhood development. Enough with the puff. Learn more at ul.org/vaping.
Hey,
cheaper living, man, each his own. I'm that type of rich that got a broken phone. I just spent
What
my
up, y'all?
money
What up?
on
What
that
up? What up? What up? What up? What up? Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back to the award-winning 1017 The Truth. It's your boy Ray Nitty holding it down. Brother Z got me on the production and sound, man. We talking about this toxic ass town. Excuse my language. I think I can say that one. Jesus wrote in on one of those. It's in the Bible. But we talking about the toxic untold story in the city of Milwaukee. Beyond ledge, y'all. Lena was loud for us. I'm trying to tell y'all. They silenced her, gave her a job that she can't tell us too much anymore. Call it a conspiracy, whatever you want, but I know it's true. Abandoned sites. Nobody talks about Master Lock. They left, y'all, in the middle of us getting blamed for a spill they caused. And on DNR's website, they have a map of the impacted areas that Master Lock historic spill contaminated. So I want y'all to think of this cluster. You got Master Lock on 32nd and Center on the south side of the block. You have Briggs and Stratton on 32nd and Center on the north side of the block. And then you have Bostic on like 28th and Center, east of Master Lock on the south side of the block. All these places. The Master Lock manufacturing complex on Center Street has a documented history of TCE contamination. A documented history. Complaints about TCE exposure tied to the site were reported publicly. Guess what? What I just say? Just south of the community within the corridor apartments before Master Lock's Milwaukee operation wound down. I'm just saying. I'm going to read it again. I'm going to read it a little bit less passionate, so maybe people hear it and they take it serious when I read it like this. The Master Lock manufacturing complex on Center Street has a documented history of TCE contamination. Complaints about TCE exposure tied to the site were reported publicly just south of the community within the corridor apartments before Master Lock's Milwaukee operations wound down. Maybe y'all hear it different. DNR records also show TCE contamination on this corridor dates back to the industrial use in the area beginning in the 1980s. Meaning some of this contamination has been sitting in the ground, migrating through soil and groundwater for over 40 years. 40 years before the nearby development triggered new testing. 40 years. Milwaukee die casting, a textbook abandoned site. 4132 North Holton Street. The Milwaukee die casting site sits abandoned. Its owner deceased. According to the EPA's own site records, in a mixed residential, commercial, and industrial neighborhood. The building itself, the soil beneath it, and the groundwater are all contaminated with PCBs, a chlorinated solvent including PCE and TCE, despite a fence around the property. They think if you put a fence in it, it just keep it in. Like EPA's own record notes frequent trespassing at that site, meaning contamination exposure risk isn't hypothetical, it's actively occurring because the responsible owner is dead and no one legally succeeded them. This is exactly the kind of site that could sit in bureaucratic limbo indefinitely. There is no living party for the DNR EPA to compel into action the way they can with an operating company. I go a little further. Briggs and Stratton's fingerprint, the community within the corridor site itself, which we're about to go deep in, sits on what was once part of the Briggs and Stratton Industrial Complex, one of Milwaukee's largest legacy manufacturers before redevelopment turned it into affordable housing. These aren't isolated bad luck properties. Master Lock, Milwaukee Die Casting, and the old Briggs and Stratton footprint are all within the same general Center Street near North Side Industrial Corridor. Meaning generations of Milwaukee's Black and Latino North Side residents have lived and continue to live in the overlap zone of multiple legacy industrial contamination sites, not just one. Not just one. Okay? Not just one. I'm trying to get y'all to understand what's been going on, what we've been quiet about, the things we choose to use our voice for, our Facebook statuses for. We got real infected, poisoned people walking around Milwaukee undiagnosed. We use the data from all of these different places, the Medical College of Wisconsin, all of these places, we use this data to say, oh, the exposure to lead impacts behavioral choices and cognitive dissonance. So what does all these other chemicals do now when we just got a toxic soup? What do we do? What is the impact of that? What's the impact of that? We got our residents displaced. Glendale got to keep their residents on site. We had many sites with 0 levels. They allowed Glendale residents to stay on site, made us move our families way to the south side. Residents was displaced for over 2 years, y'all. We had people living in hotels. Gave people back rent. Got sued. Class action. Got a class action lawsuit. I'm telling y'all, whole time we going through lawsuits, the lawyer is advising DNR. Marina and Joe Costa is holding fake hearings for political BS. Where's developers? We'd like to hear from developers. I don't see them here. You didn't invite us because you didn't want to hear the truth about how many open TCE sites was in y'all district. Because when I brought that up to them, they weren't expecting, the entertainer, the rapper, the dude that made Bow to do some research and present some like, hey, are you as equally concerned about the people being exposed in your district? Do you want to hear from the developers that have open sites in your district? But when I said that, it was, well, I'm going to get off this call now because I don't like your tone. Oh, now it's you don't like my tone, which was very similar to the move pulled against Mark Chambers. Soon as somebody don't say something you like, a black man tone is offensive and threatening. But what's not threatening is y'all ignoring families being poisoned for over 40 years. But that's not threatening. I didn't raise my voice. I wasn't yelling. I simply asked, I was like, well, I hope that you have the same concern. Do you even know how many open sites are in your district? You have the most. Oh, I ain't gonna end this conversation here because I don't like your tone. I don't like your haircut. Don't go anywhere, y'all. We'll be right back after these messages on the award-winning 1017 The Truth.
Milwaukee, your weekdays have a new rhythm. Start your mornings with conversations that matter.
Again, I'm the legendary Homer Blow along with my girl,
Bailey Coleman. Truth in the Morning with Homer Blow and Bailey Coleman. Weekdays, 7 to 9 a.m. Then keep it locked with the voice of the community.
And the more you know and the more skills you have, the more training you have, the better off your community is.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes, 9 a.m. to noon. Lunch is on us. Turning up your midday vibe.
It's your boy Ray Nitty and my co-host Maybe Shannon. You can find us on Facebook at The Lunch Break. Make sure y'all follow us, y'all.
It's The Lunch Break with Ray Nitty and Maybe Shannon, noon to 2 p.m. Then we're closing out your day with energy. Lots of it.
It's your girl, Jazz Tyler. We are live and direct. Milwaukee, Truth Nation. We are talking black leadership in the city of Milwaukee.
Tap in with Jazz Tyler every afternoon, 4 to 7 p.m. Your home for Milwaukee conversations. The award-winning 1017 The Truth.
At UW Credit Union, our home loans have everything you need for your next big step, including up to $750 off closing costs for all home buyers. And first-time buyers can save even more. So if you're ready to trade roomies for more room, or your townhome for an out-of-town home, UW Credit Union will be with you from start to furnished. UW Credit Union. Apply online today. Equal housing lender. Credit may be limited as required by program. Visit uwcu.org for details.
Milwaukee, mark your calendars. Truth Family Fest on Saturday, August 22nd from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. at Riverside University High School. Interested in volunteering? Visit truthfamilyfest.com or by emailing Sierra, CIERRA.brown@MilwaukeeBlackMedia.com. Special thanks to Educators Credit Union, American Family Insurance, Milwaukee Public Schools, Artists Working in Education, City of Milwaukee, Department of Community Wellness and Safety, AB Core, Tap In MKE, and Ascension.
My mom has decided to learn to paint, and she's good.
My dad's now into creative cuisine, and I've already put on 6 pounds.
Learning new things comes with age.
My mom, she started forgetting my name and what we're talking about.
Forgetting well-known things doesn't. Memory loss may be a sign of Alzheimer's disease. Early detection gives you and your loved one time to plan for the future. Learn the warning signs of Alzheimer's at 10signs.org. Brought to you by the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
The possibility of lung cancer can be pretty scary, especially if you're one of approximately 8 million current or former smokers at high risk. That's why SaveByTheScan.org wants you to know that now there's a breakthrough low-dose CT scan that can detect lung cancer early, and it only takes 60 seconds. You stop smoking, now start screening. For an easy quiz to see if you're eligible, visit SaveByTheScan.org. It could save your life. SaveByTheScan.org is brought to you by the American Lung Association's Lung Force Initiative and the Ad Council.
Reading aloud to children sharpens their listening skills, expands their vocabularies, and nurtures a lifelong love of reading. That's why Reading is Fundamental, the nation's leading children's literacy nonprofit, offers free monthly read-alouds by popular authors through its Rally to Read program. Visit rallytoread.org to watch the read-alouds and discover exciting reading activities for school and home. Visit rallytoread.org today.
We asked parents who adopted teens to share their journey.
When I met both of them, it was like my missing pieces were found. Like it was just like an instant, these are my kids. If you're considering adopting a teen, just do it. Kids need families. I don't care the age, everybody deserves a family.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. Visit adoptuskids.org to learn more. A message brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
Not completing high school is more of a social thing than it was an academic thing. Even though all these years have passed, I still had that longing to have my diploma.
At age 30, Carissa finished her high school diploma.
If you're even considering getting your high school diploma, you can do it.
No one gets a diploma alone.
If you're thinking of finishing your high school diploma, you have help. Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org. That's finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
Milwaukee Black Talk lives here on 1017 FM and 1510 AM, W269 DL Milwaukee, and WGKB Waukesha.
Same old, just a different day. Out here trying to get it each and every way.
What up, y'all? Welcome back to the Grapevine with your boy Ray Nitty. We talking about this toxic town, man. We talking about the lies, the corruption that's going on, the inconsistencies of what's been going on, man. Toxic chemicals just being allowed to sit in our community. Sites no longer developable unless you have extensive remediation. That makes sites unattractive for developers, makes communities unattractive for developers. So, once again, when it came to the low-income, affordable housing residents, 150 residents evacuated. DNR want to act like they was blindsided. They fired somebody because they knew and didn't say nothing. And then reporters, and they didn't want to report that people moved in and they didn't know. Liars. They knew, that's why they fired the guy. Complete bold-faced liars they are. I asked on the call, should we make the public more aware of what's going on? They said, no, that's not how these gases move. The same person that they said was like, stop playing with me. All right? City officials themselves acknowledged that the pattern was a problem. This is what pissed me off. Alderman Perez sponsored a 2024 city ordinance specifically citing finger point. I'm going to tell you what's funny about that ordinance he sponsored. He did the ordinance after I called him and made him aware of what was going on. I was like, bro, do you know all of this is even happening on this website? DNR this, DNR that. Then all of a sudden, because he was running for Common Council president, let's be 100, Jose. You used this as an opportunity to elevate yourself. And you was trying to hurry up and throw us under the bus and point and not take responsibility as elected officials for allowing companies to contaminate our communities. It ain't no shot at you. I'm just telling the truth. You made that call after I called you and had a conversation with you because I was concerned about how toxic chemicals are not being paid attention to. Then I told him about Briggs and Stratton and Master Lock. Now all of a sudden they used it against us for his own personal political gain. Because guess what? He wanted to be Common Council president. I was running against Bob Bauman. All right? So let's tell the truth. Let's tell the truth. Tell the whole truth. I haven't heard anything about any of these political officials talking about TCE or toxic chemicals since the election. Since the Common Council president winning it. So miss me with all the performative BS hearings and all of these nonsense y'all be doing to prop y'all whack selves up. And then they see you out and shake your hand like everything cool. All right, I'll play a stupid game with y'all too. Just because I know how y'all feel about me, I'm going to let y'all know how I feel about y'all. But it's always been love on my side. I just ask y'all to put the people first. Let's keep going. Let's keep going. The same chemical shows up in a low-income black and brown neighborhood versus a luxury development near an affluent suburb does not response the same. We gave everybody their rent back. Gave everybody stipends. Paid for the hotels for everybody. They allowed Glendale residents to stay on site. Milwaukee residents, we had to evacuate. All right? Let's just talk about it. And we're going to get to how all of this connects, right? We're going to talk about how they are letting companies leave without real remediation plans. We let them come in, make all these billions of dollars. Then we're going to talk about the chemistry of behavior, how toxic exposure impacts crime and bad choices. Shouts out to the intern in here working, man. I still don't know. I said shouts out to the intern in here working, man. I see. I still don't know how to do that. We're going to talk about the chemistry of behavior and how toxic exposure impacts crime and bad choices. Okay? Then we're going to talk about how other communities have handled the exact same fight. Things that I've been asking for. Things that I've shared with elected officials and people downtown at City Hall. I've even shared it with my bro, David Crowley. We got Amir on the line. Amir, how you doing, man? We'd love to hear from you.
Hey, I'm doing good, brother. How you doing?
It's Emil, not Amir.
No, Amir. I know, right? They always get my name wrong.
Yeah.
Huh?
It's Emil. What's up, boss? How you
It's
feeling?
like 4-letter words. I'm feeling good. I've been listening. I got to tell you, this is very informative. I've learned a lot just listening to this, and I think it's a very, very important topic, and it's the hard, important stuff that no one wants to pay attention to. That is unseen and goes unseen, right? So it goes unsolved, right? And you know, I just appreciate the fact that you're speaking your truth, and I appreciate the knowledge that you're dropping. And I do remember this incident when it happened. I was a little confused, and I think you're highlighting what a lot of people don't want to highlight, which is there's so many important things that need to be done out there that some of the people we have in power are just not working on because it's either not sexy enough or it doesn't have the right tone or right buzz. And I remember because at least you guys took responsibility and tried to make it right? But there was this whole idea, and I felt like there were certain curators who were more important, more interested in placing blame than saying, hey, wait a minute, how did this happen in the first place? Because I thought you guys were victims too, to a large extent, right? And also too, right? And by stepping up and trying to do what's right and all of that stuff, because I remember there was a whole lot of buzz around that. It was good. You guys were turning something that had been dilapidated into life and into a cultural edifice. And sometimes people wonder why people don't want to do things in this city. It's because of things like that. And the moment one thing goes wrong, everybody was so interested in pointing fingers after asking, hey, how did this happen in the first place? Right? And that collaboration didn't happen. And it's so crazy because you see this all around. And I also see, especially in the city of Milwaukee, when the developers look a certain way, you know what I'm talking about? The standards are different, right? The support isn't there, right? They're less supportive. Even the leaders of, and it's so crazy because Milwaukee is it's a minority majority city. And I tell some of these folks sometimes, if Milwaukee were ran like a company, a lot of these people won't have jobs. because some of the stuff that they've done and they keep quiet on and they don't do and don't talk about, and the politics and the jockeying, they don't give a damn. Everyone wants to shut down a gas station. I've said this, absolutely. I'll be the first person to tell you this. I think we have too many gas stations in Milwaukee. But here's the thing: when you shut it down, what else happens? I said, hey, no one's going to pay those funds to clean it up. It's a different solution when you go, hey, if we shut down your gas station, we're going to work with you to do the cleanup so we could put some actual housing there. But that's hard work. That's not set. It's just easy. But, oh yeah, we shut down the gas station. Mm-hmm. What next? So then what? Yep. Now it's blight. Right? And they rally us, right? They rally us to say, okay, hey, why shut the gas station down? But now it's blight. Because the next step is, okay, how do we clean that gas station and turn that space into something that is much more beneficial for the community? It's hard, man. That's not sexy. Nobody's going to do that. And so I really appreciate you, man, speaking your truth and being bold about it, because we got to talk about these things. And I love the fact that you're not but for, and you say it the way you say, and you're with the people and you're out there. So all love, man, and I'm really sorry you had to go through that. I'm really glad you're talking about it, and I'm learning a lot. So thanks. Keep putting out the knowledge. I appreciate everything you do.
Man, appreciate you, brother Emil. Appreciate you, man. Appreciate you. Shouts out to the chat, man. It's a lot of people in the chat. Jasmine. Who we got? Babar said money was exchanged behind closed doors. I don't know which closed doors you talking about or who exchanged it, but if you could explain that a little bit more. LaRon Taylor says there's no toxic waste that justifies the actions that happened at State Fair. Why? Because it's happening all over the country, not just Milwaukee. Absolutely, Laurente. I agree with you on that. But the comparison that I'm talking about, it's not just State Fair, okay? I want us to really, really look into the data and research on how toxic exposure impacts bad choices and crime. That's what I'm saying, Laurente. Because they have a correlation. Whether we want to believe it or choose to understand it or not, it has an impact. It plays a part. And we're going to get into that right after these messages. Don't go anywhere, y'all. This is the award-winning 1017, The Truth.
Each blood pressure check, each clear answer, each caught it early moment is why we show up. From unexpected nights in the ER to therapy that helps you get your strength back, step by step. We stand ready, quietly preparing, focused, and guided by one promise: to be fully devoted to you. Ascension, Wisconsin. Advanced care. Devoted to you.
Hear that? That's the sound of your life. Perfectly imperfect. Beating in rhythm to the world you've created. But every time you drive after drinking, the music gets drowned out. Your life sounds pretty great. Don't let a buzz ruin it. Buzz driving is drunk driving. Don't drive buzzed. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Doctors Without Borders is delivering life-saving medical care where it's needed most in communities around the world. From bandaging war-wounded patients in Sudan to providing clean drinking water in Haiti, we're in more than 70 countries worldwide, bringing patients from sick to recovering, from emergency to aid, from crisis to care. This life-saving care is made possible by a global movement of supporters like you. Thank you.
In sitcoms, when someone has a problem, they just blurt it out and move on.
Well, I lost my job and my parakeet is missing. How was your day?
But the real world is different. Managing life's challenges can be overwhelming. So, what do? We get support. The Huntsman Mental Health Institute and the Ad Council have mental health resources available for you at loveyourmindtoday.org. That's loveyourmindtoday.org. See how much further you can go when you take care of your mental health.
For 250 years, our armed forces have bravely served America. Wounded Warrior Project honors that legacy by supporting post-9/11 service members and veterans like Anthony, a Marine who was injured by a roadside bomb in Afghanistan.
They carried me through
my injuries, my not just my physical, but my mental. And seeing other vets doing the same thing helped me tell myself, hey, you can do this.
Join us in honoring warriors at woundedwarriorproject.org/America.
In the United States, a vehicle is stolen every 31 seconds, about as long as this message. Luckily, you can take a few easy steps to protect your car in the same amount of time. Remove your valuables, roll up your windows, don't leave your car running unattended, lock your doors, and take your keys or fob. If you have information about a crime, call the police. If you suspect insurance fraud, also call 800-TEL-NICB. A public service message from the National Insurance Crime Bureau.
Johnson, yeah, the powder fresher. It's not in line, no time to measure. I ain't trying to pressure, but it's my pleasure. White girl, come with dollar signs, Kesha. Mary Jane, Molly, hot lesbians. Bitch, nothing coke off a bit. Licking coke, you ain't over.
What up, y'all? What up, y'all? Welcome back to the award-winning 1017 The Truth. This is the Grapevine with your boy Ray Nitty. Yeah, man, we reaching high today. We grabbing the real sweet ones. We grabbing the real nice grapes, man. Squeezing them today, too. Milwaukee, mark your calendars. Join us for Truth Family Fest on Saturday, August 22nd from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. at Riverside University High School. It's free and fun for the entire family, featuring great music, community resources, family activities, and back-to-school support to help students get ready for a successful school year. Interested in volunteering? Visit the Truth Family Fest website at truthfamilyfest.com to complete the volunteer form or by emailing sierra.brown@milwaukeeblackmedia.com. That is CIERRA.brown@milwaukeeblackmedia.com. Bring the whole family and experience one of Milwaukee's favorite community celebrations. Truth Family Fest, Saturday, August 22nd from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Special thanks to Educators Credit Union, American Family Insurance, Milwaukee Public Schools, Artists Working in Education, City of Milwaukee Department of Community Wellness and Safety, AB Core, Ascension, and Tap In MKE, y'all. How y'all doing, man? Tap In MKE will be following me after the Grapevine, y'all. But right now, we tapping into this toxic mess that's going on in the city. And these fake politicians that be having fake hearings and all of these other things, just performative as hell. Babar said a check so they don't be responsible for their actions. My opinion, when Master Lock suddenly announced that they will be closing doors, wasn't due to production. It was due to knowing TC exposure would cause legal matters. They probably, of course, bro. Of course, Babar. They literally closed down after our article went up. Then after our article went up, or the second article went up, I reached out to Journal Center like, look across the street, fam. Look across the street. So, yeah, I believe that. I believe that. They saw, okay, let's close down while these blacks are getting hit for something that is on DNR's website that shows Master Lock contaminated this area. I told y'all on the website it says Master Lock's groundwater runs off into our sewage system and dumps off into Washington Park Quarry. I asked, should we let the outside community know? Should we be doing testing? They said, oh no, that's not how the gases work. But it knows how to stay and move in pipes and offshoot building materials on our side of the street. Let's continue. Letting companies leave without real remediation. All right. Fact check confirmed via DNR public records requests, Erie Manufacturing / GPI interim case file, and EPA's Milwaukee die casting site record. All right. A recurring legal mechanism shows up across these sites. Natural attenuation. where instead of actively removing contamination, the responsible party requests DNR accept that the contamination will simply break down naturally over time, and the state grants case closure anyway. Think about that. The state let these MFs just walk, fam. Leave. Big plights. Master Lock right now is for auction. It's for auction. They trying to get rid of the property so bad, they auctioning it off. Who gonna buy that toxic gumbo? Another black fool with a dream that the city ain't gonna hold no. I'm gonna get into it. First of all, I hope you know they're gonna sell that building, and Master Lock is not gonna be responsible for cleaning up any of that contamination. We have zero protections or laws in place that holds people accountable for cleaning up the mess that they made in our communities. So it's hard for me to be, like, I understand people being upset about data centers. But for 40 years, Master Lock been poisoning Negroes. We ain't been mad. But got mad when black developers decided to do something about it. Then you got DNR lying and saying they didn't know. Y'all knew because y'all fired the man. Anyway, DNR accept that the contamination will simply break down naturally over time, and the state grants case closure anyway. 40 years, our site been sitting and it didn't break down. So how much hell time is needed? How much time is needed? Then Master Lock had Obama in that mug. Talking about beautification for 100 years. Lying bastards. Letting companies leave. In one documented Milwaukee case, the former Erie manufacturing site at 4000 South 13th Street, the responsible party's own consultant requested closure, specifically citing that residual groundwater contamination will naturally attenuate over time. With neighboring property owners formally notified, they still cannot install any groundwater wells on their own land without DNR consent indefinitely. We got nothing to protect us. Nothing to protect people in saying like, hey, all these companies that deal with these toxins, they should be paying into a fund annually. Annually. We should be talking about revenue share annually. That should be going into in case you leave. We have something that's going to protect families. We have something that's going to clean up the mess. Babar said a data center will probably buy it. Well, good luck getting it approved, because we don't want that in the community. Good luck getting that approved. When a response, notice the words. Remember I said it earlier. The DNR can issue a known party. They didn't do that to Master Lock or Briggs and Stratton. They did it to the developers. When a responsible party can't be found or is deceased, they could have found these mogs, but they just looked our way. When a responsible party can't be found or is deceased, as with the Milwaukee die casting, there is no enforcement mechanism at all. The contamination simply sits monitored, if at all, at whose expense? Taxpayers' expense, behind a fence that trespassers regularly cross. Okay. Is this time for the break? Oh, not yet. This is the structural version of what happened at CWC. Companies get the benefit of operating for decades, making billions of dollars. You can look it up. You can look it up, how much money Master Lock made. They've been in the hood for 100 years, fam. They celebrated 100 years in 2008. Companies get the benefit of operating for decades, and when it's time to close up, the legal and financial tools available constantly favor a slow, cheap exit over a fast, thorough one. Y'all ain't hearing me. Wisconsin laws give companies a legitimate pathway to leave contamination in the ground and call it closed. As long as they can argue, it'll fade on its own. Like, don't worry about that. It'll go away. It'll go away. Just let it chill. That's not a loophole being abused. It's how the system is designed to work, and Milwaukee's North Side has absorbed the result of that design for generations, fam. Come on, fam. Come on, Common Council President. Come on, Jose. Create pathways. All the elected officials, not just the Common Council President, because each of them got contamination in their areas. My laptop's gonna die. This is good. This is good. We want to talk about the chemistry of behavior, toxic exposure, and how it impacts crime and bad choices. This Milwaukee-specific study, it's time for a break. Don't go anywhere, y'all. We'll be right back on the Grapevine with your boy Ray Nitty on the award-winning 1017 The Truth.
Life's better with American Family Insurance because we know you love working weekends. If it means working on your dream home, both inside and out. And we're here to help protect those dreams so you can enjoy peace of mind. Save up to 40% when you bundle home and auto. American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products, pricing, and availability vary based on the way you purchase insurance and by state. Some exclusions apply. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating companies, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
I always had to be so good, no one could ignore me. Carve my path with data and drive. But some people only see who I am on paper. The paper ceiling. The limitations from degree screens to stereotypes that are holding back over 70 million stars. Workers skilled through alternative routes rather than a bachelor's degree. It's time for skills to speak for themselves. Find resources for breaking through barriers at tearthepaperceiling.org. Brought to you by Opportunity at Work and the Ad Council.
I'm Chris Jackamick. I served in the United States Air Force and I deployed 3 times. So in 2017, I was serving as an Air Force First Sergeant. Our motto in that role is my job is people, everyone is my business. But unfortunately in that year, I would lose my own brother, Lance Corporal Adam Jackamick, to suicide. The majority of veteran suicides are from guns. I store my weapons securely, not only for myself, but for my family. Store all your guns securely. Help stop suicide. My service never stops.
Brought to you by End Family Fire and the Ad Council.
And here's Heather with the weather.
Well, it's beautiful out there, sunny and 75, almost a little chilly in the shade. Now, let's get a read on the inside of your car. It is hot. You've only been parked a short time and it's already 99 degrees in there. Let's not leave children in the back seat while running errands. It only takes a few minutes for their body temperatures to rise, and that could be fatal.
Cars get hot, fast, and can be deadly. Never leave a child in a car. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Babes, what are you doing?
What? I'm just mowing the lawn.
No, it's blazing hot and dry out here. Don't you remember? Smokey Bear says.
Avoid using power equipment when it's windy or dry.
Where'd you learn this?
Oh, it's on
SmokeyBear.com with many other wildfire prevention tips.
Right. Thanks, honey bear.
'Cause remember, only you can prevent wildfires.
Brought to you by the USDA Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
When a warrior faces adversity, he fights through it. He finds a way. Freedom isn't free. Rolling strong. Belief. Believe you can, and you will.
Wheelchairs for Warriors provides mobility solutions to veterans and first responders injured in the line of duty. Join the mission and visit wheelchairsforwarriors.org.
This is the Bloomberg Black Business Beat. It's a challenging time to be a black leader in America. Recently, my colleagues at Bloomberg Business Week brought together a group of prominent black executives to talk about how they're navigating the White House, rollbacks to DEI initiatives, and the current mood in America surrounding race. Chris Williams is chairman at Siebert Williams Shank & Company. He said tribalism and political division is playing into how diversity is being perceived.
There are mindsets that are pro and con DEI that are becoming more entrenched, one side or the other, because aside from race, on every aspect of American life, the differences, the gulf between one viewpoint and another viewpoint is more entrenched and clear.
Williams says the U.S. is philosophically divided on a number of issues. I'm Bloomberg's Justin Milliner on the Black Business Beat.
Roll another one. Sit up, never like you know it's special packet with the automatics. We gon' set them to heaven. Wait.
What up, y'all? What up? Welcome back. It's your boy Ray Nitty on the Nate Vine. The Grapevine. I said the Nate Vine. Chopped. What up, y'all? Holding it down on the Grapevine on the award-winning 101.7 The Truth. We talking about this toxic town, man. They ain't gonna like this one. If the orders didn't support me on my first run, they damn sure ain't gonna support me now. Milwaukee specific study. Researchers at UWM Milwaukee's Zibler School of Public Health tracked 89,129 people born in Milwaukee between 1986 and 2003 who had a valid childhood blood lead test before age 6, then linked that data to the Milwaukee Homicide Review Commission's firearm violence record in adulthood. The findings. This is where we going with it, Babar. The findings, right? Not saying it's a super direct correlation, but it has a place. As childhood blood levels rose, the risk of becoming a perpetrator or a victim of firearm violence rose with it. A clear dose-response relationship. Even after controlling for race, sex, and neighborhood socioeconomic status. The numbers that are at stake compared to people with blood lead under 5 UG/DL, those with lead levels of 20 plus UG/DL as children were 2.8 times more likely to become firearm violence perpetrators and 3.3 times more likely to become victims. So exposure does play a role. We want to act like it don't, but it does play a role. Overall, the study attributes 56% of firearm violence perpetration and 51% of victimization is in this Milwaukee cohort to blood lead levels at or above 5 UG/DL. The current CDC reference level for elevated lead. 56. Lead author Lindsay Emmer's own framing. Childhood lead exposure impairs decision-making and increases impulsivity. Mechanisms directly known to be criminogenic, not just correlated by coincidence. I want y'all to think about that. We just talking about lead now, fam. That was lead. Okay? Lead. Lead. That's what we're talking about. We ain't talking about TCE. We ain't talking about petroleum. We ain't talking about all these other gases and vapors. We're not even talking about that. But what happens when you mix all of these chemicals, right? If you mix lead, if you mix TCE, if you mix petroleum, what do you think it does? What do you think it does? TCE and other solvents, the same mechanism, just a different chemical, right? Separate from lead, peer-reviewed research on TCE specifically documented developmental neurotoxicity, disrupted neurotransmitter function, oxidative stress, and neuroinflammation in the developing brain, with observed behavioral outcomes, including hyperactivity, lower IQ scores, and locomotor/attention deficits, fam. We talk about the reading levels. We talk about the education levels. We talk about people not being able to pay attention. Young people not being able to pay attention in school. Young people making all these terrible decisions. Adults making all of these terrible decisions. Bad choices. I'm not giving no excuses here. I'm just kind of giving the diagnosis. I ain't no doctor, though. It's just a thought. But these are the facts I'm sharing. I forgot to tell y'all where my fact check was from. The lead violence findings below are from a peer-reviewed, published UW Milwaukee study. This is not a theory. It's measured Milwaukee data. Okay? Measured Milwaukee data. I want us to think about this now, y'all. I'm going to read it one more time. Because somebody asks, how does this have an impact on what's going on at these festivals and kids acting up? I'm going to give you one more. I'm going to read it again. A related chlorinated solvent. No. I'm skipping something. My bad. Separate from lead, peer-reviewed research on TCE specifically documents developmental neurotoxicity, disrupted neurotransmitter function, oxidative stress, and neuroinflammation in the developing brain, with observed behavioral outcomes including hyperactivity, lower IQ scores, and locomotor/attention deficits. Okay? Exposure. That's what the exposure to these toxins and these chemicals that just go untreated and that our local leaders allow companies to just poison us and walk away. It's the walking dead around this mall. Zombies. I remember it's ironic that we watching this, right? Because when I was sharing my story and frustration with a group of young people, teens actually, that was at UWM, they were doing an interview with Power Forward Media in the building about, I can't remember exactly what they was doing. And I just happened to be sharing the story. And he was like, you know what? We want to put our students on this for research. So we was working on a documentary to get all of this together. But then I found out how wide and deep this rabbit hole was. So you got to do extensive research to even deliver this in a way that it'll be palatable and understandable for our community. All right? A related chlorinated solvent, PCE, also found at several Milwaukee sites, including the Erie manufacturing site, was studied directly in children living near contamination sites. Even low level community exposure was linked to measurably lower working memory, processing speed, and executive function. The same cognitive systems tied to impulse control. This is not an excuse for anyone's choices, y'all. Let me be clear. It does not erase personal accountability. Let me be clear. But a community that has been sitting on 900 plus TCE sites and generations of lead paint housing has been dealing with a measurable published neurological headwind that other neighborhoods simply haven't had to carry. And that's the data point. That ain't no narrative. Lena was losing her mind. She was going crazy trying to tell us about this stuff. And people called her crazy. We let Chris Larson call her crazy. Nobody checked Chris Larson. Let's talk about that. We let that man call that black woman on the Senate floor, might I add. She hasn't taken her crazy meds today. We let that, but we care about mental health. Okay. Y'all don't want me, y'all should have gave somebody else these 2 hours. Y'all should have gave. Okay. Remember that. Remember, and it was folks in there that saw it and heard it too that didn't hold Chris Larson accountable. Okay. Anyway, how other communities have handled the same fight. What word is this? Marinette. Peshtigo. After Tyco/3M firefighting foam contaminated local water for years, the community won, guess what, a $10 million settlement with Tyco specifically. While it brought a 2022 lawsuit against Tyco, ChemGuard, 3M, and DuPont for wrongfully, knowingly, and deceptively contaminating natural resources with PFAS across Wisconsin is still ongoing. So why, when it comes to Milwaukee, we can't get on? Emil, call back. What we got to do to get a class action lawsuit for the citizens of Milwaukee? Because clearly our leaders ain't going to do it. And I know some people like, man, Chevy, what about Chevy? This is what I will say about Chevy in this situation. Chevy was one of the only elected officials during that time that did not use his platform to throw black developers under the bus. He was one of the only elected officials that actually said, you know what? We're going to figure this out. What you all were attempting to do was important for the city, and we need to figure this out. $10 million, y'all, settlement. Let's go to Wausau, Marathon County. During the national class action, we could team up with somebody else. We ain't even doing that. Class action lawsuit against 15 chemical manufacturers and 61 insurers in December 2023, and has already received about $2.9 million in a first phase payout from the national 3M settlement. They already got a national settlement, with more expected from DuPont. Let's go to Eau Claire. Eau Claire County took an even more aggressive independent path, filing its own lawsuit. That's what I want us to do. Let's hit them back. Filing its own lawsuit this year against 3M, Chemours, DuPont, 18 other defendants over airport PFAS contamination, specifically because the county was not part of the broader settlement group and didn't want to wait. A group called So H2O has publicly criticized the whole settlement structure, arguing that funneling settlement money into one statewide trust fund forces, contaminated communities to compete against one another for limited resources, despite all communities being equally deserving of clean, safe drinking water. I need to get So H2O on the show. Wisconsin communities, they organized, filed, in a several case have already started collecting real settlement money years before Milwaukee took equivalent action. Don't go anywhere, y'all. When we come back, we're going to be wrapping this thing up, y'all, on the award-winning 1017 The Truth.
I'm Sherwin Hughes, and I know the power of Stars and Stripes Honor Flight firsthand. As someone who's been on an honor flight, I can tell you it's a day you'll never forget. Stars and Stripes Honor Flight gives our oldest veterans who served in any location in June of 1975 or earlier a free one-day trip to Washington, D.C. for veterans. Airfare, meals, a coach bus tour, and special flight apparel are all included. It's a day of honor, gratitude, and camaraderie. Veterans who served in the Vietnam or Korean War go to flysshf.org and ask for an application.
Here's the deal. We gotta set ourselves up. See, retirement is the long game. We gotta make moves and make them early. Set up goals. Don't worry about a setback. Just save up and stack up to reach them. Let's put ourselves in the right position. Pre-game to greater things.
Start building your retirement plan at thisispretirement.org. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
For 75 years, the Muscular Dystrophy Association's voices have thundered through the halls of Congress.
For 75 years, we've willed the impossible into existence.
For 75 years, the MDA community has pushed the science,
shifted the narrative, and established the field of neuromuscular medicine.
And until that day, when this is all a thing of the past,
you couldn't stop us if you tried.
Join us and celebrate 75 years of breakthroughs at MDA75.org.
Talking about guns with others might not always feel comfortable, but it could save a life. Here's a way to start a conversation. Your family is going over to your neighbor's home for dinner for the first time. How would you ask if there are any unlocked guns in the home?
Hey, we're so excited for tonight. Before we come over, though, may I ask if there are any unlocked guns in your home?
Our guns are stored securely, locked in a safe that the kids can't access.
Awesome.
Learn how to have the conversation at agreetoagree.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
Wherever there's a need in our communities, there's a United Way, improving lives so everyone can thrive. Where more people can gain access to healthcare and nutritious food for their tables. Where more community members can benefit from financial education and get connected to local resources for housing support. And where children are given more chances to reach their full potential. Community is where we find our strength and where we share our hope. United is the way. Visit unitedway.org.
Hey, what up, y'all? Welcome back to the award-winning 1017 The Truth. This is your boy Ray Nitty on the Grapevine. DJ Brother Z holding us down on the production and sound, and I got what it takes to rock the mic right. We talking about this toxic town. We just went through how toxic chemicals and exposure impacts crime and bad choices. We just went through it. And I'll share something again just so, for those that are just joining us. Separate from lead, peer-reviewed research on TCE specifically documented developmental neurotoxicity, disrupted neurotransmitter function, oxidative stress, and neuroinflammation in the developing brain, with observed behavioral outcomes including hyperactivity, lower IQ scores, and locomotor/attention deficits. Okay? A related chlorinated solvent, PCE, also found at several Milwaukee sites, including the Erie manufacturing site, was studied directly in children living near contamination sites. Even low-level community exposure was linked to measurably lower working memory, processing speed, and executive function. The same cognitive system tied to impulse control. All right? That's the connection. But we're going to get deeper into that, too, on another show, on another day. But what I want to get into before we get out of here is the PFAS lawsuit Milwaukee wasn't a part of, right? The national PFAS settlement, over $12.5 billion combined from 3M and DuPont, one of the largest environmental settlements in American history, covering thousands of public water utilities and municipalities, was negotiated and largely finalized in 2023. Milwaukee County was not an active party pursuing its own claim in that window. It was only in December 2025 that Milwaukee County leadership began the process to seek authorization to sue PFAS producers and oil companies directly. Roughly 2 years after Marinette, Wausau, and other Wisconsin communities were already deep into their own settlement and litigation process. Get the hell out of office. Y'all not down there doing nothing. The county stated, let them go crazy so we can up the budgets for everything right here. It ain't no money in the cure, man. The money in the treatment. If we get rid of all these sites and these Negroes start acting right, how are we going to get more money for behavioral studies? You know they love to study black folk. Anyway, as I get ready, the primary confirmed PFAS source specifically for Milwaukee County is firefighting foam used at Milwaukee Mitchell International Airport through 2012. Groundwater sampling near the airport has already turned up high PFAS levels. Milwaukee did receive some general drinking water infrastructure help. Wisconsin communities broadly got $282 million in state drinking water project funding in November 2025, but that's separate from general infrastructure money, not compensation tied to being made whole for PFAS contamination specifically. So as I get ready to close, y'all, I want us to put this whole thing into perspective, right? Milwaukee has over 900 known TCE sites and a documented pattern of treating contamination differently based on zip code and income. Companies that get to leave contamination behind with minimal enforcement. A published local study tying childhood lead exposure directly to gun violence. I ain't making this up. And until literally 2 months ago, no active seat at the table for PFAS compensation that other smaller Wisconsin communities have already been paid for. They already got the bread found. I'm asking y'all to do this. Go to the DNR website. This is my call to action to y'all. Go to the DNR website. Search your own block tonight. We do this show so that information like this don't stay buried in a database that don't nobody ever knew about. I'd have never known about this if we didn't go through what we went through. I'd have never known about it. I'd have never known about it, y'all. I watch our politicians use it as a tool to prop themselves up, win elected seats, whatever Common Council presidency seats. And they shake our hands in public. All right? But I'm telling y'all, go do the research. Go do the research on how we treat these toxic waste fields in our community. Go do the research. How we let corporations walk away with no ramifications. We don't got no fund holding them accountable, nothing that they need to pay into annually that will help with remediation in case they leave. These were some of the things that I was asking for when I ran for office, that provoked me to run for office, because the attorney that was representing us and telling us to be quiet was on the advisory committee for the DNR. I'm telling y'all, they should have never gave me a mic. It's your boy Ray Nitty, and I'm just going to keep bringing y'all the stories that they trying to hide from us, y'all. And they not going to like it, but I don't give a damn. Brother Z, y'all have a good day. Don't go nowhere. Jazzy is up next with the Tap In. All right? On the award-winning 1017 The Truth, it's your boy Ray Nitty holding it down on the Grapevine. See y'all tomorrow. I'm bringing some more smoke. Cheap ball.